For most Christians, when they hear the word gospel, they are thinking of, I think it's 1 Corinthians 15, 1 through 4, where Paul says, the gospel of Jesus Christ is that Jesus died on the cross, went 3 days into the belly of the earth, and rose on the 3rd day. And that is one dogmatic understanding of what the gospel is. That's the dogmatic gospel that most of Christianity understands. But when I think of the statement, I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ, or if I were to reword it, I'm not ashamed of the good news. For me, that means the good news is that I have never been separated from God, that I am one being with divine source or God. And that is the good news. Realizing the origin and the reality, the conscious awareness of this oneness with source, divine source. Religion has taught us that we are separated beings from God. And so we have developed a separation mentality and built and based a doctrine on this psychological separation, that I am here and God is there. And for 2,000 years, people have tried to bridge this gap, this separation. It's really just a mental, psychological separation because of the way we were taught. And through generations, even through traditions, not just by our parents in this lifetime, but we've gone through ancestry of following the traditions of our fathers. And so this separation mindset is very deep in our psyche, in our soul. So for me to say I am not ashamed of the gospel is just to say I am not ashamed to proclaim and claim that I am one with God. There is no separation between Source God and myself. And just because I am in a physical incarnation, and we think of God not being flesh, our mind perceives that as separation. Obviously, we are here on earth and God is somewhere in heaven. That's how our mind thinks. But Jesus incarnating as the Son of God, he was the message that God is in fact flesh and blood, like we are. God is an incarnation, and just because we are incarnated in a flesh and blood body does not separate us from our oneness source of God. We are one, and that is the beautiful gospel. And I am not ashamed of this gospel, of saying and believing and knowing that I am one with divine source, with God. There is no shame in that. And it's empowering. It's the power of the gospel, as the scriptures say.